Hello everyone, welcome to Dirt Time Recon. Today I'm going to show you how to make the best fire starter system that you can have, and it's this guy right here. It may not look like much right now, but I'm going to break it down for you. Got our plate full of Firestarter. Fibers here, that's what you want. For this fire starter system, you're going to want the following items. First of all, you're going to need some petroleum jelly. I went for a big 13-ounce jar of petroleum jelly. You don't need this much, but it's not a bad idea to have extra on hand. Jelly and some little tea candles. These tea candles here need to be paraffin wax specifically. Right here I have a pack of 20. A pack of 20 is very cheap, easy to get from the local dollar store or grocery store. Next, I suggest that you get yourself some cotton rounds and not cotton balls. I've seen people use cotton balls for this, but the cotton rounds are easier to pack into a canister and they work better for splitting apart and actually getting a flame on. More versatile, seem easier to use to me. You're also going to need some sort of container in which to actually melt your paraffin wax and your petroleum jelly. I just have an old soup can right here. And you'll need a heat source. You could light yourself up a fire and do it that way, but I just have a little cooking stove right here, and I'm going to be using that today. Additionally, for this kit, you're going to want to get yourself a watertight aluminum canister like the one I have here. You can find these guys on Amazon for pretty cheap. Buy yourself a pack of them. This aluminum canister here is wrapped in some hockey tape to stop it from getting too cold. In cold weather environments, it's very uncomfortable to hold on to this aluminum with your bare hand. A magnesium striker rod, or also called a ferro rod, and a knife. You don't necessarily need a striker knife that looks like this. You could use any knife and that will be effective. But I like to keep a striker with mine because then it puts the whole kit together in one piece. Speaking of keeping it in one piece, you may also want a heavy-duty hair tie. Let's build this kit. It helps if you get yourself some sort of base like this log right here, or if you're working in the kitchen and making it easy on yourself, you don't have to worry about this. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to need our petroleum jelly and we're going to need our paraffin wax right here. What we're going to do is go ahead and pull these paraffin wax tea candles apart. You might have to work with the aluminum a little bit. Helps if you grab a hold of the wick right there and you pull it by the wick. Then we'll pull that wick out of there so that we're just left with this little hockey puck looking paraffin wax. Go ahead and dump that in our container. I'm putting 4 in here. You're looking for about a 50-50 ratio. But in all honesty, I don't get picky with this at all. I just throw it all together and make it work. I forgot to mention, but you're going to want a spoon or something that you can scoop your petroleum jelly with. And we're just going to go ahead and take a couple of scoops of our petroleum jelly here until we think we have about the same ratio as. It'll help if you grab yourself a towel to get the extra Vaseline off your hands. But I'm going to be a barbarian and rub it on my pants. Now that we've got this guy filled up about 50-50 with paraffin wax and petroleum jelly, we can go ahead and light up our heat source. And as you can see, that's melting pretty quick. We can reduce our heat. We want to reduce our heat so that she's not smoking too much. We want to try not to breathe that in too much. While we're letting that melt, and it's going to melt pretty fast, we want to go ahead and prepare a few things. I've grabbed myself an extra container where I can put my wax. Specifically, I want my lids, and I'm going to set that right here. Don't necessarily need that, but it helps to have something available. Remember to give things a little stir once in a while. Keep that melting down in there. If you're going to use a soup tin like this, it helps to leave the lid on, because you can use this like a handle, and that way you don't have to grab the hot container itself. We'll go ahead and prep ourselves some cotton pads here. Not entirely sure how many this is going to fill up, So it's going to be interesting to see. So that's all melted down in there. So we're going to go ahead and take it off the heat. And we'll turn this guy off and set it aside. What we're going to do is we're going to take our cotton rounds here and we're just going to go ahead and throw them right in there. This is where it's important to have that spoon or something so you can dig that guy back out. And then we'll just set it aside. I do recommend wearing gloves for this process to help keep the wax and the Vaseline off your hands. It's not going to hurt you, but it is kind of hot. Alright, so here we've got our plate full of Firestarter, and we're going to walk this over to where there's some snow on the ground and let it cool off. Alright, we'll let those guys cool off there for a little bit until they get nice and stiff. Hey goat. Goat. It's a goat. And it's more goats. It'll be nice and stiff like this and it holds its own shape. It's ready for testing. Let's go ahead and build this kit out and test them. So we'll go ahead and take our canister here and disassemble it, open one end up. We're just going to go ahead and see how many of these guys we can stuff in here. We can use our knife, kind of help pack it down in there. We can pack these pretty tight. 5, and then for the last one here that goes into our cap, I find this is the easiest way to do this one. Stuff an extra one in that cap here, don't leave it empty. As you can see, that's packed pretty tight. Let's see if we can get it together. There we go. It took a little bit of effort, but we got that together. A little bit of it's squeezing out, that's okay. It's just wax, so it's only going to help seal things up. So I was able to fit 6 of those cotton rounds in here. You can extend those cotton rounds to each be 2 fires, so I can get 12 good fires out of this guy right here. Now I want to show you some tips for how I set this thing up that makes it fast, convenient, and keeps everything together. First of all, like I said earlier, we've gone ahead and wrapped up our canister in some hockey tape so it doesn't get too cold. I highly recommend taking your ferro rod here and using a little key ring to attach it to the top of your canister. This way you can't lose this ferro rod. This is almost the most important thing I would say of this kit. Without this, you're not really starting a fire. Next, we've got our knife, if you've bought specifically a knife for this kit, which I recommend you do. And then we'll take our hair tie right here and we'll wrap it around. Now we have one unit. It fits really nicely in the magazine holder of my chest rig here. Always have it right there. Everything's together. Don't gotta hunt for pieces in different pockets. Now let's go test it out and I'll show you exactly how to use this for the most efficient way possible. Alright, so I found this little embankment of snow that we're going to work with here. I'm going to show you exactly how to use this kit. So first of all, we'll go ahead and get it out, unwrap it, and we're going to pop open one end here, and we'll go ahead and dig out a cotton round. Now try not to destroy the cotton round if you can, but it'll still work if it's a little messed up. Make sure you put that cap right back on there when you're done. We don't want to be losing our pieces. So what we have to do here with this cotton round is we have to kind of lay it back out flat again. And we're going to split it in half. So we're going to find where it goes in half here. And this one's splitting really nice for us. See all these little fibers here? That's what you want. The spark's going to hit those fibers and light it up. And that's why we need to split the cotton round in half. Now from here, if we wanted to double the life expectancy of our kit and have more cotton rounds to work with, we could go ahead and separate these two pieces, put the other one away, and just light this one up for now. But we'll go ahead and light them both, because more fire, why not? Alright, in order to light these guys, if we were lighting a real fire here, we'd have some sticks ready to go, we'd have maybe a little tinder ready to go, some bigger sticks ready to go, and we are going to light this not by striking down this way with our knife and ferro rod, but we are actually going to pull the ferro rod up and we're going to keep the knife still, like that. Still, and we're pulling the ferro rod like we're starting a chainsaw. Look at that. Make sure we wrap that kit back up as soon as we're done lighting our fire starter. We don't want to lose these pieces. And that is how you build and use the best fire starter system that you can have. One of these rounds right here will burn for about 10 to 12 minutes. That gives you plenty of time, plenty of heat to get your materials together and start laying them on that flame. If you liked this video or if you found some useful stuff in it, let me know in a comment below. Like, share, follow, all the stuff the YouTubers say. In the meantime, stay wild. I'll see you later.